think we're on.
Yeah.
So, you wanted to talk about the clickbaity stuff, you said. Oh, no. We're not into the clickbaity stuff. We give you the truth. What we're here to talk about today, I think, are what?
I laughed at the clickbait thing because you don't watch YouTube videos, so it's like you wouldn't even know what clickbait is.
Well, I realize that, but I read an article today about Warren Beatty, and when you said clickbaity, it just made me think, well, wouldn't that be a great name for an actor in the internet age? Clickbaity.
It could be.
Yeah, he just wanted an Oscar.
I don't even know who that is.
You're too young.
Okay, so here's what I want to talk about. So the title of the video is about dealership fees. So when you go to buy a new car, fees that you need to be aware of, fees that you should avoid, in all honesty. And I think we'll also touch on fees that are legitimate. Like some fees are 100% legitimate. You're going to have to pay for them, but there are others that the dealership can structure in a way that's actually...
Yeah, we could talk about legitimate fees and illegitimate fees.
Let's do it.
Made up fees and, real honest to God fees.
Yeah.
Let's start with the real honest to God fees.
And if you don't mind, break them into if they're for newer used cars or for both, because I think that's something that's really important as well.
Okay. Real honest to God fees. State sales tax. City and county sales taxes if you're in a locale where there's a city and a county sales tax. Ad valorem taxes or personal property taxes on vehicles. Those are legitimate fees. Title and registration fees are legitimate fees. Dock fees, everybody charges. There's a question as to whether or not, customers don't think they're legitimate, but, dealers do. And they can range anywhere from a low of $50 in some states to, we've seen upwards of $1,000, which is just astronomical in my mind. Because that's just, you've heard me say it before, that the dock fees are pretty much just a profit center, an additional profit center for dealers, which is what allows them to lower the price, and they add the dock fee to make up for the price.
Are there other? Is a processing fee the same as a dock fee?
Well, it's what it's called in Maryland, but it's the same as a dock fee. It's the same.
Well, I guess I asked that question because, maybe you're going to get to this. You're probably going to get to this.
I don't know. Chances are not, but I will now.
Like if you're financing a vehicle, could there be like an extra finance processing fee tacked on top of?
There could be a lien fee, so that when the car is registered with the state, and there has to be a lien placed on the title stating that a certain bank or lending institution or captive lender has an interest in the vehicle. Okay. There's a fee for that, and that's usually included with your registration fees. Okay. There's also a tire tax fee. That's only on new cars, and it used to be $5. I've heard that some states it's now $7.50, and that's a fee that states collect to help dispose of tires, and it's only on new cars that they do it.
Really?
I guess they assume on used cars that it was a new car once, so the tax was already been paid.
So those are all legitimate fees.
Last time I checked. Yeah. Yeah.
And we were talking about this morning because I'm working on building this little app that like you put in your selling price and you put in what state you're in, and then it tells you all the associated fees.
Yes.
So like the selling price for a car could be $30,000, and I was showing my dad. I was like, look, here's like a prototype of it, and I put in the amount I put in for Arizona, and he's like, yeah, that's totally wrong. So I'm working on the data, but it brought up this idea of like, so like in Arizona, for example, can you share that that instance of the registration is $8.
Yeah, and the title's like $4 or $4.50.
Yeah.
$4. But then there's a vehicle license tax, which is paid annually, and it is based off of 60% of the base MSRP of the vehicle that you're looking at, times $2.80 for every $100 of value.
Yeah.
So
more than $8.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did as an example just to play around. Let's say a car had a base MSRP of $50,000, and 60% of that was $30,000, and times $2.80 for each $100 of value. That only came out to a value license tax or vehicle license tax of $804.
Yeah, so the registration fee is $8, and then the actual registration fee is $812 for. Yeah.
But the good news is it goes down 16.25% every year because they're assuming the value of the vehicle is going down.
So these are all legitimate fees, and on the registration front, every state's different. So I'm building this little app. It's absolutely bonkers because some states did you know it's Missouri? I don't know if you knew this about Missouri.
I know it's called the Show Me State, so go ahead, show me.
This is how antiquated their approach to registration fees is.
Yes.
It's based off of the amount of horsepower in the vehicle, okay? And the horsepower range goes up to 72 horsepower. So it's like 6 increments up to 72 horsepower, and then everything that's 72 and above is a certain fee. It's like, okay, so every single car is 72 and above. Other states do it based off of the value of the vehicle. Other states do it based off of weight.
Well, maybe it's just a guess. This is strictly a guess, and that's because I'm an old man and I can make guesses like this. But maybe they taxed horses and buggies in the day before there were cars. And that if you had a horse and a buggy, and the horse wasn't taxed, but the buggy was. So they know, maybe, I don't know if they licensed them or not, but maybe they taxed them, and maybe that's what it came from.
You know how in some videos you've joked about how you make
shit up? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. We just got another example.
Perhaps. This was strictly a hypothesis, And you would think a soothsayer such as yourself could have seen that coming.
You had comments about that?
Yes, I'm well aware.
Right.
So you want to talk about illegitimate fees?
Yes.
Fees that make no sense at all?
Yeah, or fees that if you're, if the dealer's saying, hey, you need to pay for this, you should kind of chime up.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
How about fees, say, on a used car? When the price of the used car is agreed upon, and let's say it's $30,000, because I just like $30,000. It's got a nice ring to it. It's easy for me to do the math. And then they suddenly say, then there's a line item that'll say reconditioning fee $1,500. And you go, well, what the hell's that? And they'll go, well, we had to recondition the car. Well, why isn't that based on the price? Why isn't that in the price already? Why is that a separate line item? I've never seen that in my life. 43 years in the car business. I never once, I don't know, maybe I wasn't creative enough to think of doing that to somebody, but it just doesn't seem legitimate to do something like that. Your cost is your cost, and you don't get to then suddenly charge your cost on top of that.
Yep.
Or oftentimes you'll see on a CPO car, $995 for the CPO. Well, no, that's part of the CPO process, and your pricing of a CPO car is normally higher than a non-CPO car because, well, there's the cost of the CPO, and since there's extra expense in having a CPO car, it's already factored into the selling price.
Yep.
We saw, you could see things, people have talked about it, nitrogen tire fill, which is a wonderful item, and the theory behind it is nitrogen is larger molecules than just air, even though air is, 78% nitrogen, but don't you worry about that.
I didn't know you knew this much science.
Well, it's because I had to justify the nitrogen tire fill that we put in every car. Well, at least we put the green caps on the tires. I don't know if we actually put the nitrogen.
Excuse me, sir. Did you know that air is 78% nitrogen?
It is.
Why we charge you this fee.
But we're going to make it 100% nitrogen, and the molecules are bigger. So the theory is that it dissipates slower. It can't escape from it's. There's some who say it's so, and then there's the vast majority who say, well, that's bullshit, and it probably is. And
so
some
do dealers add a fee for nitrogen
tire
tires?
fill? Oh, yeah. For nitrogen tire fill? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and I've seen as high as $499 for that. But the good news is, should you run low on nitrogen in any of your tires, other places would call it if you run low on air, bring it back and we'll refill the nitrogen for you as long as you own the car, except, well, just might not be convenient when you have that flat tire to run right back over to that dealership.
Okay, so that's one to question.
Yeah, so, and obviously there's things like low jack that suddenly it appears because they say, well, it's been pre-installed. And you can say, okay, so pre-uninstall it. And they go, well, no, it's already installed. We could take it out, but we're going to have to charge you the labor to take it out, plus the labor it was to put it in. So you might as well just pay for it. And you go, well, I didn't ask for it. You don't need to know where the hell my car's going. I got a great idea. You want to sell a car? Why don't you just pay for it? You eat it. So, accessories, dealer installed accessories are items that you need to look at that sometimes are legitimate and sometimes aren't legitimate. I remember at a Nissan dealership not too far from where we're living now, where every car came with body side moldings because we installed body side moldings and door edge guards and wheel lip moldings and hand painted pinstripes and initials. And I used to tell people, I'll tell you what, if you pay what I'm asking, I'll even let you pick the initials. Otherwise, if we do it at your number, it's going to say RAS on the side of the car because those are my initials, and that's what we're going to put in there. So, dealers have for years and forever have had dealer installed accessories. Some can be taken off, some can't. If you really don't want to pay for them, most dealers are not going to lose a car deal over those, and they'll just eat the fee. They just, they understand. Like one of the reasons dealers might install low jack on every car, they expect a percentage of people to go, okay, I'll take it and pay the $695 or the $995, and the percentage is high enough that it covers the ones that the dealership has to eat that the people won't pay for and absolutely refuse to pay for.
Yeah.
And the dealership's not taking it out of the car because they're not going to pay the labor to take it out of the car.
Got it.
Yeah.
So then another one that I thought of was especially on a new car, is adding in the destination charge when the destination charge is already built into that.
But it's built. Yeah, it's built into the MSRP of the car.
Yep.
Okay, so it's part of the car. You typically you see that on internet pricing for new cars, where the internet price that's advertised doesn't include, in the really tiny print, doesn't include sales taxes, title, license fees, and destination charge. Okay, and then in the even smaller print, the eye surgeon couldn't read it. It's such a small print. It'll say includes every rebate known to man, and we're pretty sure there isn't a human being on the face of the planet that's going to qualify for all of these. So this price is just so bogus, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll link it up there somewhere.
Yeah.
The internet pricing is BS video that we had done. But I guess, so my thing is, if you're looking at your buyer's orders,
and then suddenly it says $995 for
the destination, that's
no.
Yeah, because that's built. No. So if you were to look at the Monroney label or the window sticker of the vehicle, the MSRP factors in that $995.
It's got a line item right on the Monroney.
Or if you looked at the dealer's invoice,
yes, it has. Yes. Now, here's one that you might have to pay if you insist that the dealer has to do a dealer trade and the dealer has to go a long distance to get the car. Well, there is a cost involved in doing that, and the cost can be $400 or $500 depending upon where the car is, and if normally the way it's done is the dealer that needs the car has to pay the transportation for the car that he's sending to the dealership in order to exchange it for the car that they need. So they end up paying transportation fees two ways. And that's not something that was already normally part of the cost of a car. That's an additional cost because you're actually doing a dealer exchange to find the car for the customer so that they don't have to order it. And we would charge. Oh my God, Zach's got a call. Sorry, folks. So we would charge customers for that because it was an expense that we normally wouldn't experience on a car deal. So that's something that you should be concerned with. Now I'm waiting for Zach to get back here to see what else he might have for us, or perhaps maybe we're done. I don't know.
Well, are there any other fees that people should be aware of? I guess that's like the only other question I have.
There shouldn't be a loan origination fee because you're getting a car loan. You're not getting leave your hair alone already. I mean, I could run my fingers through my hair, but you're not running through anything. Stop it. So it's not a mortgage. So there shouldn't be any loan origination fee or anything like that. So if you see something like that show up, no, don't pay it.
All right, we need comments down below for what haircuts Ray and I should get when barbershops open. I think they open next week here in New Jersey. So.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Well, you're not getting one.
I might get something, man. This is gnarly.
Yeah,
Yours looks pretty good.
Yeah, for something that hasn't been cut since February.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of cut,
yeah,
we should cut this video off, and also you should cut those fees out of your car deal if they're any of the ones that.
Yeah, if they're the illegitimate fees, say no. If they're the legitimate fees, say, "Damn it, I wish I didn't have to, but I have to." I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, I think we're pretty much done. And maybe, just maybe, we'll talk about something tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, I live here. I'll be here.
Yeah, I live here too.
Yes, he does.
Bye.
Bye.